Hi, everyone. It's Bernardo Moya, founder of The Best You, author of The Question. And today we have someone that's going to be sharing some amazing information. Is going to be providing us all sorts of insights. Someone tremendously inspirational. Now, I'm going to read her bio. And I was mentioning to Didi that when I started looking at her signature, because I've known Didi for a few years now, the signature just carries on getting bigger and bigger because she keeps on doing all these amazing things. So let me introduce you very quickly to Didi Wong. Hi, Didi. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Bernardo. I am so excited to finally get to really talk to you. And we've met each other in different events, but yes, this is a really quality time here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So let me tell you, Didi is born in Hong Kong, but raised in England, and she's now resides in Los Angeles. She's a clever girl, obviously. Although she loves London, she was just telling me, I'm telling her, we both agree, the weather's so much better here.
That's right.
Didi Wong is a multi-award winning international speaker, film, TV producer, serial entrepreneur, and angel investor with expertise in the industries of entrepreneur, education, entertainment, event planning, public speaking, business mentoring, interior design, and real estate. Didi is the founder and the CEO of the Yes Academy, a results and success-driven educational program for entrepreneurs, focusing on confidence, connections, and cash flow. Didi and her husband, Michael, who's a lovely guy, own an interior design company, J2D2 Designs, where they have completed 4 multi-million-dollar renovations with a design focus on their signature transitional style on Feng Shui. They are also seasoned real estate investors, and Didi is an executive producer alongside Larry King in a television show called In Case You Didn't Know with Nick Nanton on Amazon Prime Video. And she's a producer and lead in consciousness television show called Awakening Giants. Currently, it's in the 2nd season where entrepreneurs are stretched to their limits in personal transformation, directed by 7-time Emmy Award winning producer Evan Weinstein of The Amazing Race. She's also begun the film The $1 Million Woman, about women empowerment, as the executive producer and host. She does a lot of philanthropic work as well, Didi. She works with this Cedars Sinai Hospital. She's sitting in the Millennial Board of the Unstoppable Foundation, which is a great foundation, which I'm very familiar with, and a lot of you must be here in LA as well. And she's head of All Ladies League Women Economic Forum in Los Angeles chapter. Didi has so many things. I was just looking at one of the things that she's done. It's just kind of, this could go on, and then I wouldn't have a chance to interview her. She's a best-selling author.
I was like, let's just get to it.
No, but I wanted to say that I'm so excited. I'm going to obviously ask you about it, Didi. Kind of some of the things that you're involved in this new documentary Impact. There's so much I want to talk to you about. But anyway, Didi, thank you so much for being here. And tell me, because I've obviously had the chance and the opportunity to listen to you when you were speaking on stage and on some of the platforms that we've shared. So just give me the intro of where you're from and where you started, your early years. Don't go too fast. Just tell me kind of the initial years where you were brought up.
Yeah, I will give you a quick overview. I'm good at that. I'm called the Speedy Didi. So born in Hong Kong at the age of 9, my parents sent me to boarding school in England. That's why I have my accent. Most people ask me where I'm from because of my accent. So I grew up in England until the age of 18. I wanted to be on Broadway. That led me to America, and but my parents said, no, you need to have a degree. So they made me go get a degree, and I had it in communications. I went to Boston University, very proud of my alma mater, and then I pursued my acting and trying to be on Broadway. With some public relations kind of jobs in between. I worked for Figueroa. I worked for the New York City Ballet, and after the ballet, that's when I didn't have any more work visa. So because of my no work visa, I had to kind of go in and out of the US in order to try to keep staying in the US, maybe find myself a husband or find someone to sponsor me. And everyone rejected me in terms of being able to sponsor me at that time. So that was a really difficult journey in trying to stay in this country. And I knew I wanted to stay in this country, and I still want to because I just love America. I feel at home here in terms of just who I am, how I can be free. I do feel restricted when I go back to Hong Kong, living under the shadows of my parents, because my dad is a very well-known attorney in Hong Kong. And in general, my family is well-to-do in Hong Kong. So part of me just wanted to fly away, you know, let me go and be this bird to fly. And I always have that black sheep, you know, I'm going to do it differently. And I'll learn the rules, but I'll break the rules. And that's just who I am. And America allows me to do that. So I went to New York and I did all of that, tried the Broadway thing, never made it happen. I did do a few TV stuff and film stuff. But I do have my upbringing in theater and acting, and I'm very comfortable on stage. Although when I came upon speaking and becoming a speaker, it was a totally different ballgame because I didn't have a script anymore. I wasn't hiding behind costumes and makeup and dancing and, you know, and singing. I was now coming out as Didi Wong. So you will see in the movie Impact that I did just finish wrapping up, and it's in post-production. It's actually coming out in summer. It's called Impact, and it follows my journey as a speaker. And you know, after having 4 children, my last 2, who are twins, are now 4 years old. I decided to come back out to the world to work. And after breastfeeding them for 8 months, I was like, no more. Something inside me was just egging to come back out to the world to work and do something much bigger. Not that motherhood is not big, because it's huge.
let me stop you there a minute. Okay, so you followed your parents' instructions. Okay, hey, you got to get a degree before you decide to follow your dreams, and then you went and followed your dreams, which is going on Broadway. Okay, so that didn't work out for you. How did you get onto becoming an entrepreneur? Because obviously, I assume that you became an entrepreneur.
Yes, I did. It was through my
before you got into everything else. Did you?
Yes.
Sorry. Did you let me ask you? Did you actually buy your husband, or did you actually fall in love with him?
Love that question. So yeah, I guess you could say I bought my husband, because I met him at just the right time, fell in love with truly the right man, and you know, I had some potential husbands who asked me to marry them for the green card. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then the right man came along, Michael came along, and we fell in love. We got married after 6 months because of the green card. So it's definitely something, definitely one of my biggest stories that I share on stage, because I really had many challenges trying to get this green card, including my parents, who just wanted me to go back to Hong Kong. And we had a lot of ups and downs with that. So I did get the green card because of Michael, and because he was an actor. And the girl who actually interviewed us for the green card actually recognized him from the TV show he was doing called One Life to Live. Okay. And she didn't want to talk about anything to do with my green card or my family or us as a marriage. She just wanted to talk to him and know about the plot of the story, which was obviously to my advantage.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
you brought the best husband possible. Well, so that's fantastic, and I'm very happy. And as I said, I met him, and he's a lovely guy. You were both a lovely couple.
Thank you.
So okay, and that's what happens in life, you know. Kind of, you know, we want to follow our dream, and either our constraints or family or whatever it is trying to bring us back down to reality, you know, when we don't want to be part of that reality.
Right.
So you managed to stay here. Eventually, your parents obviously thought, okay, well, she's obviously sticking to that. How did you get to become an entrepreneur, or both? You both decided to do what where you originally started before you went into the public speaking.
Yeah, as you get to know me more, Bernardo, and anybody else out there who happened to come across my path, you'll know that I operate very much on my intuition. And I operate very much on how I feel in my gut and my sixth sense. And you know, I just got off the Think and Grow Rich tour, where success principle number 13 is the sixth sense. And so, you know, when the very first inkling I had to become an entrepreneur came through my dream. And I don't even call it my dream, although I think I was sleeping, but it was a calling. I woke up in the middle of the night after a 4-day intensive yoga training. So I was doing 5 to 7 hours of physical yoga for 4 days straight. And I was just absorbing all the spiritualness and everything I was learning from the yoga conference in Hong Kong. I woke up in the middle of the night and just had this calling and said, you know what, forget about acting, forget about dancing, forget about singing and everything that I've ever learned. And I want to be a businesswoman. And my very first company was called Chakras by Didi, and it's a yoga-inspired clothing streetwear where I wanted to bring, to inspire every person to go and try yoga, because yoga changed my life. And so within a year of that calling, I even saw my very first tank top in my vision. And I made that tank top. It was a white tank top with a downward facing dog in lavender. And underneath it is Akto Mudra Savasana, which is the name in Sanskrit. In the back, it says downward facing dog. And then every shirt came with a hang tag that tells you why downward facing dog, that position is good for you. So I was teaching. I was always loving education and teaching, but I was teaching through my clothes. And it was through this calling in this dream that made me want to become an entrepreneur. I just followed my sixth sense.
Brilliant. And so you start, and that's beautiful. And, you know, kind of sometimes that is definitely something that a lot of people don't necessarily follow. And I have to say that for me, I've always been very intuitive, but I haven't necessarily followed it through. When I do commit and I make a decision in my mind to do something, then I'm completely unstoppable, you know. So kind of, yeah, for me, these expos, well, for me, they're going to have 200,000 people, and it's global. I mean, this is just the beginning. So it was always in my mind, and I've never conceived no other option than it becoming a reality. But that, unfortunately, is what happens. A lot of time people don't necessarily follow that intuition, and they don't follow the signs. This is something that I'm very good at recently, these last couple of years, where I'm very aware and intuitive, but I'm more aware of the signs. Sometimes opportunities come to us, which are the size of petrol tankers, you know, and people just ignore them and walk around them instead of following them through.
Yes.
So you followed it through, and not only that, you had a very clear picture, you visualized it. So where did that go? Tell me from that visualization to building that brand. Where did it go? And it was at the beginning of many of the other things that you started doing? Yeah,
well, Chakras by Didi was absolutely my very first company. I had it for 10 years. I sold it in 2018 now. And I sold it to a French kind of company that's like a Target. They took all my inventory and took the name and everything. I built it by traveling all over the world to yoga conferences, and my designs were a hit. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's my personality that comes through. I'm the great salesperson when it comes to what I love. And I don't say it as sales, I say it as I serve, because, you know, you come up, and this is what I'm going to be talking about, by the way, at the Best You Expo. I'm going to be talking about the art of articulation, because I believe that the reason why I became so successful so fast is because of how I know how to conduct a conversation. And it's not in a prepared way. I'm real. I am very authentic when I talk, and I'm not afraid of what I say that might affect me in the future. I'm just real me. This is me. And Bernardo, you probably know, because I am right now on camera with you, but I'm like that with you outside of camera. This is me. And I think that is what people have a block in, especially, you know, coaches and speakers and people I've come across in the last 3 years. They feel like they have to be one way on stage, and I'm teaching them, just be authentic. You don't have to necessarily follow a formula. You can actually be you, and that's why people will fall in love with you. And as an angel investor, same thing. I talk about people's elevator pitch. Don't make it so rehearsed and so formulaic. I just want to know you. I want to know if you're a competent person. If you're a competent person, you can follow through. You are a person of integrity, and you're not afraid to learn and to say you don't know. You know, because you know, it's not about your product, it's about you. I always say that because the product can be developed and get better and better and better. But you, on the other hand, is somebody that I need to know I can work with and be in the presence of. And if I like you as a personality and a person, and you have the competency and the desire to learn and be better, then you are the perfect person I would want to invest in. And that's all that matters to me. Of course, I would have to love the industry, and you know, there are little side things that I would want to know. But you know, generally speaking, if you want to have me as an investor, you know, I better like you to talk to you first, then because I need to talk to you. So that's where I come from, the art of articulation.
That's a brilliant subject, and it is so true. And my experience with you know, well, where I'm coming from, where I've worked with so many speakers, I think so far it's probably close to 700-800 speakers.
Yeah,
I've seen so many people, you know, on stage, and that's what's missing. You know, 7 out of 10 times and 6 out of 10 times minimum. You know, there isn't this authenticity which is needed. There isn't this congruency. You know, I was talking yesterday. It was actually a radio interview this morning, and I was talking actually to Dr. Sonia yesterday, and I was saying to them, I would highly recommend that some people read their own books, because, you know, kind of like, it's true, you know, they talk about being happy, they talk about being confident, they talk about being successful, and they're none of the above. And and I think that's what people want, and they want to, you know, they want to hear people speaking from the heart, and you want to be able to connect with people, and people buy into that. That's what charismatic people are. That's what magnetic people are. They're simply being themselves, and it's coming across authentically. And so I love the subject, and definitely, Didi, you got so much of that. Didi has so much of that, ladies and gentlemen. For some of you that haven't heard her speak, you will just literally fall in love the moment she goes on stage.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really am excited about this new message that I have. You know, I've evolved so much as a speaker since the very first time I stepped on stage at the Best You. By the way, everybody who is watching, the Best You EXPO gave me my very first stage, and I was birthed as a speaker at the Best You. So I have a very soft spot for the Best You EXPO, and I've been diligently just telling everybody about the Best You. So if you're thinking about coming, you must come, because it really has such a, it's kind of like the whole family coming together, and the best speakers, and you'll get so much out of it, because I got so much out of it as a rookie. And now, you know, 2 years later, I'm at a different spot in my career, and I'm still going there as if I'm, oh my God, I'm going to the Best You. So I love it. And when we hooked up the very first time, just knowing each other, you know, I know that you were checking me out, Bernardo. You know, he's been, you know, the CEO of the creator of the Best You. You know, he has to check out his speakers. And I saw him come into the room. And, you know, my room first started with maybe, I don't know, 25 people. But then towards the end, I think people heard my energy, my voice. And by the end of my talk, my room was filled, actually standing room only. And I remember seeing Bernardo come in, and you saw the room. I don't know if you remember this, but I remember.
I do remember. I was actually just going to bring this up right now. So I walk around around this show. You know, there's 9-10 breakout rooms. There's a lot going on. But obviously, I'm walking around. I do miles and miles and miles. But I'm checking out, see what's going on, what's happening. And I remember Didi, because she obviously, you know, she's so bubbly and so lovely. She introduced us. Oh, this is the first time I'm speaking, and I'm so excited. I'm so nervous and things like that. But anyway, so she started speaking, and yeah, the room wasn't really full. But I remember at the end, there was so many people standing outside. I think all the other rooms were empty because everyone wanted to listen to Didi. And it was just beautiful to see. Well, I said, wow, if that was your first go, that wasn't bad at all.
Thank you. Yeah, I got your kind of blessing, and I'm like, you know what? If Bernardo said that, then I'm on the right path.
No, you definitely are, and I have this. I'm very proud of you and people like you who have shared the stage, and I've seen them grow and evolve into kind of what you've done now. I know you speak all over the world, Didi, and you've won so many awards, and you've done so many great things, and the things that you're producing are first class. So I wanna talk about the impact first, but I just wanna, so we can just carry on the story. So you did that, you sold your company, and then you and your husband decided to do this refurbished properties and invest in properties, because obviously now you're an angel investor. So you've obviously been a successful entrepreneur with obviously selling your company, and now you're helping others. Tell me about that aspect of what you do to help and mentor people on this journey of entrepreneurship, which is, is a struggle. It's not easy. There's very many dark days. And
yes,
and
even
many moments when you're on your own. And
absolutely.
So share
I was just saying that to somebody yesterday, one of my clients yesterday, that actually it was today, this morning, when I was just finishing off my trust, and the lady who had me sign was like, how has your year been? I'm like, you know what? Roller coaster is the word that I would put it, because in the life of an entrepreneur is always a roller coaster. And you know what? That is good though, because it really builds you up to have a strong sense of what you want in life. And I will say the Yes Academy was born because of my TV show Elevator Pitch that I was very honored to be on with Dave Meltzer. And and my angel investor title also was birthed on that TV show, because we invested in the people who came, the entrepreneurs who came and pitched us. It's a very successful show. I think it's in season 5 now, and I was just a guest judge at that time. But after seeing so many people come in to pitch and not taking that moment that they have, they could ask for $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, and messing up their moment of glory, right? I said to myself, oh my goodness, so many entrepreneurs can do so much better by just being way better prepared. I'll get rid of that fear when you have that moment, and just be in your authentic self and believe in what you do. So I said, you know what, why don't I start up a company to help entrepreneurs in all aspects, because I'm so good at knowing how to start a business. I've started many businesses and failed a few. So I love teaching the course, How to Start a Business. Actually, it's called Idea to Income. I just kind of rebranded it. And all other things that come with becoming an entrepreneur. So the Yes Academy is all about business mentorship, and how I create these mentorship programs and online courses where I can really help you monetize, as well as just have the right mindset to be an entrepreneur. When you experience those low times, I've experienced many times, even this year, I've had a few low spots when something was so good to be true, and I'm like, oh, and then it didn't go through. But that's how you manage being an entrepreneur. But the joy of being an entrepreneur as well, I wanted to put that out to my clients. I always tell them, the joy of entrepreneurship is in the time freedom. And that is what you crave for in life. You should crave for having time freedom, not just financial freedom, but the time freedom it's so beautiful, because you never have to ask anybody to go on vacation. I can't tell you, I've never really been in a corporation, so I've been very lucky in that way. But I can't imagine having to ask someone, can I please go on vacation? I just
and they might say no.
And they might say no.
Yeah, no, that is true. Well, look, I think it's one of the key things that I think stand out in you for me is that you're an entrepreneur. I've experienced that there's a lot of people in the personal professional growth industry that might have phenomenal expertise. They've got a lot of knowledge. They've attended hundreds of seminars, but they're not necessarily entrepreneurial, and they're not necessarily, creating revenue. A lot of them just think too small. We've had people that, I don't know, want to come and speak at the expo, and I don't know, and with love, maybe their mum, uncle, and sisters and brothers know them, but not other people. And they're expecting me to pay them to be at the expo. Well, why would I put, a production that cost me a year and close to $1 million? Well, why would I put everything on the line to give you an opportunity to speak, to promote yourself? And I think a lot of people do think too small, and then they don't have that entrepreneurial mind. I believe that we, if not, and I appreciate not everyone can become an entrepreneur, because
sure,
companies
that I do believe too.
But kind of, as you said, there's nothing more beautiful than that. And for me, it's one of the key things that I think makes you stand out, I think, in this speaking arena. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, and I will say that as a mother of 4, part of being successful as an entrepreneur is actually time management and being organized in a way to truly get everything you want done. And that is one huge void that entrepreneurs lack. I know so many entrepreneurs who don't have their schedule, know what they want to achieve the next day. And so it might happen next week. It might happen whenever you have free time. No, I'm saying put that time block in your, literally from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. If you know every single slot thereabouts, how you want to juggle your time, which I absolutely do, because I have to deal with my children, babysitters, husband, date nights, you know, myself, all of my businesses. And, you know, and people always like, Didi is the get SHIT done person. I do get stuff done. And that is truly how I've excelled and accelerated in such a short time. And that's what I want to teach people in entrepreneurship. Like, even if you didn't do well in the last 5-10 years of your entrepreneurship, I can teach you how to gain that momentum within just 1 or 2 years. And that is what I've done for myself since I stopped breastfeeding my children, came back out to be in the workforce, became a speaker out of nowhere, and have excelled and done all of these things in the span of 2.5 years. So remember, Long Beach was March 24th, 2018, March 24th, we are in February 2020. That's not even 2 years. And I have spoken all over the place. So I want to inject that to people, you know?
I'm the witness of this reality, okay? This is what's happened. Didi Wong was at the Expo. She started her career as a speaker. Now, obviously, she's been a very successful entrepreneur, but a lot of things have happened. And I think that's one of the things that I think people tend to struggle with, the idea of how much one is really capable of doing. You put your mind behind it. And again, as you said, you've got a lot going on. You've got a lot going on. I love that little, we'll talk about impact in a minute. I love that talk you were doing in your front room with your 4 little kids. So cute. And that's a lot of work. I mean, you know, 4 little children, that age that they are, that's a lot of work. But you can get so much done, can't you? If you put your mind behind it, and if you know what to do, and if you believe, because I think that's one of the things that I speak to my team, you know. So every time we start a meeting and we finish a meeting, I say, guys, Bernardo up to now? What is this lunatic coming up with this time? And because sometimes they don't believe. And I said, you got to believe.
Yes.
And if you do believe it can happen, it does, doesn't it?
Yep. And that's why my 3 words are confidence. Believing is confidence, right? Confidence. When you have that confidence, you will naturally be able to connect when you talk to someone, when you email someone, when you communicate with someone. And then the cash flow comes. Like, it just, the deals will come. People will ask you for joint venture. People will want you in their team. People will want you to help them and be an affiliate. So confidence, connections, cash flow are my 3 words that I attach to the Yes Academy as well as Didi Wong. And I'm constantly talking about that. I want to help people build confidence. And with that, you can achieve whatever you want and think bigger than big. And just like you said with your team. So yeah, I believe in that so much. Yeah, it's the philosophy of entrepreneurship, right?
Absolutely. Well, I love the ideas and what you're filming, and we've got to talk, because we'll be launching the Best You TV at the Expo as well. We're going to be launching the Best You TV
Hey,
out on Hulu. Yeah, well, we've got more than 700 talks now recorded. We've got you know, I've got more than 50, 60 video interviews I've done, you know. So we've just got such a library of phenomenal content. So it just I wanted to do it a few years ago, but anyway, it's happening now. We're launching at the Best You Expo. But I'm very excited about, because I want to produce a lot of things. Tell me about Impact, because I was looking at the trailer. It looks fantastic. I love well, what I've seen. I want to see it all. Tell me about.
Good. Well, it's coming out in the summer. So in the festivals stage right now. You know, Dave Meltzer, again, my mentor, recommended me to these directors from Spain. And they, you know, just like any producers and directors, they interviewed tons of people. I think they told me over 1,000 people. And Didi Wong was the very first one they picked, yay, you know, and they wanted to find 3 people who, one is a speaker, one is an entrepreneur, CEO, and one who is a salesperson who wants to become an entrepreneur. And they asked me which role I would want to take. And I said, well, I'm actually all 3, although speaker, I've never tried, but that's the one I want because I love a challenge. And if you want a good storyline, I was telling them already, if you want a good storyline, you probably don't want to see me doing my CEO thing. It's kind of boring. But if you want a good storyline, you want to pick me as your speaker, because I've never done it. And I'm a little bit afraid of it because I've never done it. And you'll see my arc and you'll see my, story of becoming. So they literally, the very first day of filming, tricked me and got me into this event. I was really excited to go to the event. I thought I was just being filmed as an audience, right? The next thing I know, they're like, now next speaker is Didi Wong. And I'm just like, oh, you'll see it in the movie. I'm just like, oh my God, what? So I got up on stage. I had probably 100 people in the audience. And I was like, well, I want to be and then even me saying the word motivational speaker, I flubbed. So you got to see me really green until I got to speak at one of my big events, as well as the United Nations. So you will see my arc of becoming a speaker within 1 year, because we filmed for about 1 year and 2 months, and how I've grown, and all of the coaches who helped me and hone in on my techniques and my skills. But at the end of the day, I will tell you, honestly, it's really about my authenticity that comes through as a good speaker. It's nothing to do with the techniques. I mean, I know to step on left stage because of this, and step on right stage because of this, and, to look in people's eyes and the body language, all of that I got from my theater. But, at the end of the day, people always tell me that you're just so real, and I just love that you have something about you that makes me move me and make me cry, and even yesterday I was talking to Sharon Lecter, and she gave me the thumbs up, saying, Didi, you just need to be writing a book. She was inspiring. I don't know why you don't have one already. But she said that you have the ability to move people, and that if you are watching this and you are a speaker and you want to be a speaker, it's just don't be afraid to be you. And that's always the end message of go out there and be you, and you'll find your tribe. Not everyone will like you. Let me just tell you that too.
And it's fine.
Right? And it's fine.
And it's absolutely fine. That's the problem. Well, look, these are all great, valuable messages, and it is about that. I particularly think, obviously, I share this, that we called it the best you because not everyone wants to be the average you or the crap you. It's everyone wants to be the best you, and I think that's what we need. I mean, in a time and a moment when we spend, I don't know, 25 years sleeping, 7 years watching television, 4 years on social media, on average, these are big numbers. And it's about connecting. It's about turning the phones off. It's about connecting. That's what happens when we do these live events. And I particularly think that you've done it the right way. Is that my experience is, hey, if you're already an author and you've written a book, great for you. But I think if you want to write a book, my thoughts are, and my advice, and I think it's valuable advice, is to speak first. Because by you speaking and sharing your message, you're connecting with people in such a deep way. And obviously, whatever it is that you're sharing, you're talking about, is a book. But you're going to get that feedback that you don't get. I mean, because you could write something that you think is tremendously inspirational, and then guess what? You sold 5 copies and 3 were to your family. So that's the reality. And that's why, speaking is such a great advice. And I think you've done it the right way.
Thank you,
Didi. Absolutely. And I think that the world needs more people like you, Didi. We need a lot more of authentic people, because there's a lot of copycats and a lot of fakes, and we need to raise the standards. We need to raise the standards, because I believe that kind of all of us.
I'm really excited about your besttube.tv, because my next move was to sponsor myself to do an actual TV show. I did invest in a TV show early on, and that was when I was carrying my twins, and it didn't come through. But coming around in circle, you know what? I always manifest, and I think you're probably the same way. I always manifest the right people to talk to when I'm trying to do something. And in the last week, I literally was thinking, I want to revive and rebirth or relaunch my TV show. And then here you go, just like literally just telling me you are doing a Best You TV. And you know what? That's how, it's karma, sending the message out to the universe, whatever you call it.
But
just
that's
do
exactly
you.
what happens, Didi, and that's what we were saying about the petrol tankers and about opportunities coming your
That's right.
way. Sometimes when an email comes into your inbox or someone's recommended you a TED talk or a book, I always look at why is this happening, and there's always
Yeah.
either a subliminal or very liminal message there that's telling you why. And this is kind of why we're talking. And I just think it really is about life. It's about opportunities. Sometimes opportunities come to you, and people come to you. And you have to grab those opportunities and take them. And that's the difference between a winner, a talker and a doer, and someone that just doesn't do it.
Right.
Didi, so you're going to be talking at the Best You EXPO. You're sharing, you're talking a couple of times, aren't you? In a couple
Yes, I'm at the Best for Business room on Friday at 1, and that is going to be the art of articulation, where I will literally teach you and talk about how to articulate in the right way to get what you want, to get your yes, obviously the Yes Academy.
Brilliant.
I'm always going to teach things to make you get your yeses. That's the ultimate goal. And then the next day on Saturday, I'm going to be at the Masters, Mentors, and Influencers room at 11 a.m. And I'm going to be talking about the power of mentorship. And that is really my presentation, gratitude to my mentors in my life, and to pay it forward currently by being a mentor to other people, but also to really make people think about why they don't have someone to talk to on a weekly or monthly basis who can actually help pull them through, guide them, hold their hands. And I think that the goal that everyone in life, not just entrepreneurs, in life, and even an NBA players and the best of the best of the best, the Olympic gold medalists, they all have mentors and coaches. So why shouldn't you have one? That's going to be the message for the power of mentorship on Saturday at 11 o'clock.
Brilliant. Well, fantastic. And I completely agree. There's nothing more important. I mean, listen, I've made so many mistakes. I've spent so much money and over the years and things that I could have done differently. So why would not someone be interested in taking advantage of that? Why would someone not be interested in speaking to Didi, who's built successful businesses and who has managed to do so much, in
a short time too.
In a relatively short period of time. And that is something that, again, kind of we talked about briefly. It can happen quickly. A lot of people tend to think that these things have to take 5, 6 years. But that's having a mentor. That the difference is that, and when you have someone that has that proven track record, it can happen, and it can happen in a very, very short period of time.
Right.
So Didi, I mean, listen, I could be speaking to you all day. So
I know we could.
Thank you so much. I will. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Expo. Thank you for all this great energy with you. And thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. And
thank you, Bernardo.
Oh, share with us, please, quickly. How can people find you?
Oh, the normal way, didiwong.com, didiwong.com. Social media, didiwong on Facebook, and Didi Wong Official on IG. And LinkedIn, Didi Wong. So just my name, you'll see me. You'll see all the. Just Google me.
There's the one and only. She's going to be right at the top of Google. You'll find her.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Bernardo.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for listening, for being here.
Thank you, everyone.
Lots of love.
Bye. See you there. Come and join us. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.